Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to what is turning out to be a very big day in the League to the Past Randomizer League Season 3. We are in the home stretch on Week 6, and every matchup the rest of the way is very crucial, including this one between Pug Trio and 2019 Titans Boost at 2019, tied for first in their division at 24 points. I'm JP, and I'm joined today by Koi. How you doing, Koi?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Like I said, it's a busy day. A lot of races. In fact, right now as these races begin, we're going to have about 4 races going on at the same time. So, a lot of action. In this race, we've got Andy versus Etium, 2 very good racers. And we've got an all dungeon seed for you, so everything's got to be done.
I mean, all dungeons key sanity. Like, typically, what happens is everybody does everything, and the person with the stronger execution has a significant advantage, right?
Yep.
But it's also a little volatile sometimes, and sometimes it comes down to who checked this location first, and who went to this dungeon before that dungeon, and did you check Graveyard Ledge to get your second Castle Tower small key, stuff like that.
We are underway. Start with the compass. Compasses, they really don't care about. They give you an item count in dungeons. It's good if you're a new player, but for experienced players, you don't need them. Yeah, as you were mentioning it, this can definitely be a volatile mode. If there's items that are in some bad spots, somebody gets it first, has the advantage for a while, can route more efficiently. There's as much as you have to clear everything, there are little decisions that could swing a race wildly.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes down to who had the more efficient route through the game. But, having the efficient route sometimes means assuming that it's going to be a mean seed or assuming that it's going to be a nice seed. Answers to questions you couldn't possibly know.
Well, that's a bit nice, is they're going to both pick up a sword and escape, or in the ankle area, and they could go straight to escape, which they're both going to do. So, escape, they can get 3 items here, 4 items if they want to go for the Dark Cross chest, which with the sword is not too bad, though only one of these items will be in logic.
Right, the Boom Chest and Zelda Cell both will require the Hyrule Castle small key, and the Dark Cross obviously a fire source. Because it's in the dark. That's why we call it Dark Cross.
Exactly. Ooh, Etium's taking a couple hits. Knows where those hearts are, though he also had a fairy drop.
I'd say Uncle Start's a little less common for key sanity, so a little surprising to see both runners doing this.
It's one of those checks that if your opponent does it and you don't, and it has something, then you feel behind. So it makes sense. I see both ways of going at it: skipping it and doing it. They both make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like it's all dungeons key sanity. Like we're gonna do everything because that's just the game mode. But oftentimes you try and put this off until you can pair it with what's it called, Castle Tower.
Yeah. There's our first big key to Pod, which is an absolutely required big key.
Yeah, Pod big key is actually super nice to have because double dipping the back of Pod is very annoying.
Yeah, getting that Pod big key late and then having to go back there to just get the big chest is definitely it takes a little bit of time, and you don't like to do that, but having that early just makes Pod a little more efficient.
Andy playing it a little dangerous here.
He's trying to keep that green guard alive so he can take the death warp.
Alright, there we go.
And just a map to Skull Woods. 2 maps so far, but we're probably not going to see a map check for a long time.
Yeah, with it being all dungeons, it's not as important. Like, you still kind of want to know where the green pendant is and the red crystal, so you know when those locations become available, but it's not that big a deal.
Yep, exactly. Green pendant, red crystals. You also kind of want to know when GT is available in case there's pendant dungeon items in GT. Both are going to go through the Dark Cross, so it's going to be pretty much black on both screens for a little bit as they work their way through these. Yeah, as I mentioned at the start, we got 4 races going on concurrently. One of the other races going on is Era 216 versus We Are the Imposters. Era versus Hitsuyen. That race will also be important for this division, as the winner of this will will move into a tie for first at minimum, and if Era 216 also wins, they'll be in first as well. So just a heart container here. All we came out of here with is the big key to pod, which is still a good find, as they also find the first small key to pod.
Yeah, and both runners did advance the guard rope prize back far enough to get the 8 bomb drop, which is very convenient heading into Kakariko.
Yeah, having those 8 bombs, they don't have to worry about the tree pull or anything. I expect to see them just both go straight into the Lost Woods from here. No Aga check, you'll check that once you get the boots.
Looks like that's what they're doing. I would have checked Aga personally, because you know it's all dungeons. I'm gonna kill Aga anyway. It's nice to know early.
It is nice to know early, but at the same time, you need another sword, a lamp.
Oh yeah, like you're
and
super
2
far away
keys.
from it.
I mean,
but when you find the boots later, it's not, the boot checks aren't necessarily like the first thing you go do.
That is true. Yeah, I think in a key sandy seed, I'd more just depend on the logic. If I get both Castle Tower keys early, I'm gonna do Aga probably a little earlier. So upcoming
both runners headed to Kakariko. Just 5 rupees apart. That's the difference maker right now.
Full magic from the bush crab, which unfortunately they both have full magic already.
Oh, you could have picked up the rupee etium, and then we would have been even again.
Yeah, at the rupee council, definitely have enough for bottle vendor. They can farm up the rest here.
Yeah, they'll pick up the rubies incidentally. Hey, another pod key.
And a glove. So 2 pod keys early with a big key. We're still quite a bit away from being able to complete pod, but early signs say we might be dipping pod sooner rather than later.
We will be full clearing the escape though. That glove gets us access to the final 3 checks.
Oh yeah. We are also looking for 2 pieces for Dark World, either a hammer and the Moon Pearl, or another glove and the Moon Pearl. Big key to Meyer.
Or the 2 Castle Tower keys and a
that could do it too.
and a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that could do it too.
It could happen. Don't write it off just yet, just because almost every All Dungeons Key Sandy ends up with Castle Tower Small Key Go mode.
I mean, I've seen a lot of different Go modes this week, and not all of them have taken Castle Tower, so yeah, you could go definitely anyway.
It's just a meme, right? It's like Ice Rod Go mode.
Oh, exactly.
Most speeds are not Ice Rod Go mode. You just remember those because they suck the most.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, I almost Castle Tower Small Key is a little worse because I think that one can actually appear in any of the 216 locations.
Lumberjack, apparently.
Oh,
that's
you're
what
right.
They told me yesterday.
215.
So
you're
250.
right.
Well, Kakariko mostly bear, walking away with just some rupees, glove, and a shovel.
We'll probably get a shovel check here very shortly. Just a shield in the library.
Just a shield.
Won't be coming back for that. Andy gonna scout the ledge. Some runners like to just go straight for this. That was just bombs, so not going to miss out anything. We'll save a little time there. In Key more than in a normal seed, you generally like to... You might go for it more often because it's more likely to be something you need. But by scouting it, Andy will save a little time. Oh, third big key already. And it's Hera, which is still a good big key to have. But in the new age of Hera pots, it's not as necessary.
Still, you'd rather have it than Hera pot.
That's
so you
true.
don't have to orphan a chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Andy going to back of escape. Etium going to continue walking. Likely for Dam and or Gina.
So first bit of divergence. And that back of escape was very nice.
Yeah, Mitts and a Master Sword, not bad. Although Etium's gonna head there eventually, I'm sure.
Of course.
And at the moment, those items don't do anything. I guess they make Mini Moldorm Cave nicer. 1 slash to kill a Mini Moldorm instead of 2.
They do put the first chest to Agate Tower in Logic.
Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that one. I don't think our runners are gonna head to that very quickly though.
Yeah, especially since they've already done the front of escape. It's less incentive now to go there.
Yeah, so this is the other side of what I was talking about, like why I think the Uncle Start is less common to see. Because you want to have the opportunity to do Castle Tower with, or at least the first chest with the front of escape. So Etium going for the, I'm going to do everything anyway, so I might as well do the worst things first play. I'm a big fan of this. Heading over to Agina's Cave.
Oh, we got a map check. Eastern Pendant and Desert Crystal.
Andy's in the same mindset. Also headed to Agina's Cave.
I've seen more and more runners checking this early. I think this week it definitely makes more sense because, like you said, we have to check everything anyway. But I've seen this play more and more often in recent weeks.
Andy
So
going
Andy's
going
gonna
to
give us.
yeah. Headed over to let's look at the ledge. Just a compass.
So maybe not an early book today. We could still see it though.
Personally, I like early Agina's Cave even in a regular 7/7 open seed, but it definitely makes even more sense in Key Sanity, where it's very difficult to skip anything. So trying to put off like these out of the way locations like Graveyard Ledge and Agina's Cave, Hobo, it's just more likely to hurt you.
Yeah, early game Key Sanity, overrule checks, even solo checks are definitely more valuable. When you get into late game Key Sanity, it generally, you want to be focusing your dungeons as much as possible. Is Andy gonna Houlihan here? Because that's the only reason I can think
looks like
come over this way. So he's planning for a Zora trip.
It's a little early to be planning for your Zora trip, but I guess it's never too early.
Yeah, Zora area is not very nice right now because without the Moon Pearl, without flippers,
it's just Zora.
Yeah,
nothing else. I don't really expect Andy to go over there unless he finds like the Moon Pearl or the flippers, or even like maybe a bow and he can splash elite real easy. But with his current item set, there's no way he goes to Zora.
Mm-hmm.
Yet another pod key. I was hoping it was number 4.
Well, Etium's going to save a little time.
Why did I Houlihan? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels bad when you Houlihan, get those 225, next chest you open 300. You just sit there like, really?
Well, we didn't find anything to make the Zora area better anyway.
Well, we got Ice Rod Cave. But yeah, after Ice Rod Cave, we're basically looking at Saha Eastern area. That's about all that's left in Logic. They could sequence break up Death Mountain, but that's only 2 checks.
It's a pretty normal play to like just do the old man real quick, get the save and quit point, and then save and quit. Because that's something you likely end up doing anyway, so it doesn't hurt anything to grab it.
Yeah, you usually don't waste any time there.
But it's not in Logic, like you said. Yeah, Eddie, I'm going to Link's house here, probably over to Saha's. Yep, there it goes. Andy gonna fake flipper, though, it looks like, heading over to at least Hobo. Maybe he will go to Zora after all, though. I would be surprised if he did. But he did Houlihan, too. I don't know, this is weird.
Yeah, this definitely feels a little inefficient, but if he comes up with something big out of it, it's definitely his advantage. I mean, like I said, early game overworld checks, even like isolated ones like these, aren't so bad. Late game, this will be a little bit more iffy, but right now I don't think this is too bad of a play.
Green pendant pod, of course. It doesn't mean it doesn't. It's all dungeons. We have to do it anyway, but that is super annoying. Beats big, not bad.
Yeah, that's good. There's
Bombos medallion.
That could be useful. We'll have to wait and see what our that's Ice Palace or
to take flipper.
He's gonna go for Zora then. That's pretty much all he can do.
Checking the island on the way back. Small key, okay.
I mean, he'll also get an info on a second item at least. He'll get the info on whatever's on the ledge. He's still staying in the swim states. Interesting. Well, it's just a map on the ledge, so he's not going to worry about that.
I mean, swimming's faster than walking, but if you get hit, like, it's all over.
Yeah. Small to ice.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice swimming there. Will this pay off, though? Oh, okay.
Just a hook shot.
That's not gonna put anything new in Logic for now, but once we can get up Death Mountain, that's extra checks, and Andy's just gonna follow the out of Logic at this point and go up Death Mountain. So I should mention that the hookshot itself is not out of Logic. That is in Logic because of the gloves. What's out of Logic is what Andy's about to do.
Yeah, going through dark rooms with no fire source. Not something you're supposed to do. But we can, so let's do it.
But we're probably looking at a lamp or a flute now. I'm guessing that's be our next piece of progression, if not the Moon Pearl outright.
It's certainly possible. I mean, it's also possible we just find the Moon Pearl in here and we're going to the Dark World.
Well, actually, that's the last in Logic check for etium here.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So, could something be in the first chest of Aga Tower?
Oh my god, I think it has to be.
Which would be good information for etium.
I'm curious what etium will do. If he'll go Aga Tower or to Zora first. I imagine he'll do Aga Tower first because like you have the Master Sword and everything. And it's a slightly quicker check.
So both runners again working through dark rooms.
And if it is like Moon Pearl and Aga Tower, like you gotta imagine Andy's probably gonna go to Eastern first. And then they end up just having like a complete wash.
That's very true. Alright, last check in Eastern. Just a piece of heart. So etium has 2 in Logic checks, Zora or first chest Aga Tower. And we're going to see first chest Aga Tower.
Well, that's good. We know 100% that this is progression, but we don't know what progression is. If it's the Moon Pearl, this is actually really nice for etium. And he can just get that hook shot later. If this is the lamp, kind of is less good for etium. But it can also come back to bite Andy too, right? Because like if he ends up needing a fire source later.
Yeah, if the Moon Pearl would be the worst. Moon Pearl wouldn't be so bad here because Andy will be funneled here sooner rather than later. But if this is Flute or Lamp, Andy might not find this for a while.
Oh, well, there's the lamp.
Okay, we're down to Moon Pearl or Flute.
The Moon Pearl. Okay, so this ends up being really good for etium. He doesn't have the hook shot yet, true, but he will, make his way to the Zora area eventually and find that hook shot, no problem.
Well, on Andy's side, I got Big Key to Turtle Rock.
It can still be good for Andy. If Andy decides to go to that first chest of Aga Tower before over to the eastern area, he does save a lot of time, not double dipping eastern.
I don't think he'll do that, though.
It's like 6 checks versus 1. Very hard to make that call.
For etium at this point, though, the best thing would be to find Flippers and Mir, because they'll probably then just go to Catfish and they'll get that hook shot after that. So right now, kind of hard to say who really came out ahead here. Both has something the other doesn't.
After Andy makes his play after Spiral Cave. If he goes to Eastern, then I say etium's ahead. If he goes to Castle Tower, I think Andy's ahead. But it's also, 20 minutes into an all dungeons keeps Andy's seed, so ahead is relative.
That's very fair. And Andy, he's found some nice stuff up here, but he's not found anything that's going to give him a big advantage. I think everything he found up here is going to be for later in this seed.
Yeah, it looks like he's headed over to the eastern area. Again, we know that the progression's Castle Tower, but from Andy's point of view, this is 6 times as many checks. Why would you ever go to the first chest of Castle Tower?
7 times as many checks for him since he has the lamp.
Oh yeah, that's true. Although it's out of logic. He knows it's out of logic.
Oh, that's true. Well, actually... Well, yeah, Andy, in his mind, Eastern's in logic and Castle Tower, so... First chest of... We got the big key to Desert in the first chest of Skull. Another big key we will absolutely need. We already have info on, 6 of our big keys? The 20 minutes?
Yeah, well, a lot of big keys.
So the question is just which of the big keys is going to elude us until the hour 45 mark. I'm guessing Eastern.
One of the good ones. Do you think?
It's dependent, and they've already done quite a bit in there, so yeah. I'm going to say Eastern big key's going to elude us for a while.
Etium finds the book in the front of Skullwoods, taking a Wallmaster ride back to the beginning.
So book opens deserts, which there's 3 check... Wait, there's 2 checks in logic there, plus a third you can view.
Yeah, I guess the ledge. We already saw the ledge, though.
Well, I mean, the Desert Torch.
Right, so one check that we can pick up, one that we can look at, and then one that we already saw.
No, he has the Desert Big, so you can go check the Desert Big chest.
Oh, I didn't realize we had the big key. Never mind. You're right. Forgot about that one. If he goes to the mountain with a hookshot from Zora, he could kill Lammo even.
Yeah, I was...
It was Flippers on Bumper Cave.
Okay, it looked like bombs, but yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay, we know we need the cape then.
Would be nice.
Now, Thieves Town is an interesting call at this point. You've got the big key, so you can get everything but the Thieves Town big chest. So would you full clear it now, or would you want to wait and see if you could get that small key and hammer first? It's a really tough call.
Yeah, it is a tough call. I think with the mitts, I wouldn't mind putting it off. Like just doing first four and leaving. But I think staying is also a very reasonable call. The small key is logically required for the boss, but the hammer isn't necessarily, right? So oftentimes, like, you won't have access to the big chest anyway, even if you were to put it off.
Well, etium is going to go in. Let's see how far he goes.
Meanwhile, Andy gets the bad news. Are you kidding me? It's actually the first chest of Castle Tower. This is the worst seed I've ever played. He wouldn't say that, though.
Not the last sentence. The first part he might.
And what's more is he knows it's not even the flute, and the hookshot was just this huge bait for him.
Oh yeah, it can't be the flute. Well, yeah, it can't be the flute, because I was gonna say it could be the flute if something's in my area, but no, he doesn't have a mirror. Because flutes to Meyer to mirror to checkerboard cave is something that the seed can do. But yeah, he's got to know this is the Moon Pearl, or something that leads to the Moon Pearl.
All right, Eddie finishes first 4 checks. Are we walking out, death warping, or going to the back?
We're going to the back.
Reasonable.
So, etium is basically committing to leaving behind whatever's in the big chest. And Andy has his Moon Pearls, he has his Dark World access.
That feels real silly, though. Like, Andy makes this big, like, abnormal, you really don't see a lot of people do this play, where he goes all the way to Zora, even though he can't do any of the other flipper checks. Gets the hook shot, which unlocks a gajillion checks on the mountain, and then still gets bottlenecked by the Moon Pearl.
Yeah. And the thing is, when etium goes up there, assuming he has a hook shot at that point, with the mitts and Moon Pearl, he's going to have the ability to full clear all of the overworld of Dark Death Mountain. So he's going to be able to potentially do it a little faster. There's our first, well, there's our second shield. We saw the first, so they didn't get it.
Yes, etium does have the Moon Pearl. Sometimes the tracking software is rude.
Yeah, it could take a little bit of time to update. Also, let's give a shout out to our tracker, Mindful Beast, doing all the clicking behind the scenes today for us. Yeah, I've done tracking, and the tracker definitely can, at times, just eat an input. But Andy went straight to Thieves Town, so skipping Skullwood's going to miss out on that Desert Big for now. And that book.
He didn't even do all the Village of Outcast checks, did he?
No, he went straight in here.
I wonder if that means he's intending to leave. Well, quick map check, just to be sure. Yep, this is Thieves Town.
Yeah, he's leaving.
This is a death work. Yeah, because like typically, if you're thinking about staying in Thieves Town, you would do all the Village of Outcast checks first, on the off chance that one of them is your hammer or Thieves Sound Small or whatever. But going there first was likely leaving after the first floor.
Yeah, that's a very good call. On Etium's side, blink and we missed the blind fights. And
well, we didn't get any progression out of the back, and an item will be left behind in the Thieves Sound big chest, but not necessarily required. Etium may just never come back for it, and it'll be fine. Or he last pages it, and it's something really important, and it'll cost him the entire race. One or the other. Only time will tell.
So both runners are kind of back in sync. We'll see them do the dig game, and then we'll see what they decide to do after that. If they're gonna grab the Smith, or if they're going to just continue on the Dark Worlds. We technically do not have access to Eastern Dark World yet, though there are ways to get there. So what is our next piece of progression? As both are going to pick up the Smith.
Yeah.
Got Hype Cave coming up. I got to think we're going to find something in Hype Cave that's going to send us somewhere.
We got to find something somewhere. This game is just too stingy.
Our
4-pod key pod looks like a likely location, though.
But the thing is, we can't get there yet in logic.
Yeah, we don't even have access. Okay, so we find, like, the flute, which gives us access to the lamp, which gives us access to... Never mind.
2 more dungeons are getting on. We got Skull Woods as a red crystal, Turtle Rock as a regular blue crystal. And our other one is Ice Palace for red crystals. We're in Hype Cave, a bottle, our first bottle, and the big key to Skull Woods.
There you go. That's a little bit more efficiency for Andy. He'll have the big key on his first trip to Skullwoods. Eddie will have to come back later.
But that's kind of ugly if there's something in the Skullwoods big for Etium, because that's a basic... Well, turning in the Smith, he could route it in.
Yeah, he's over there anyway. We also have Sick Kid, who could potentially save the day. And then there's also that those 2 desert checks are available, which should be a little bit easier of a play for Andy since he does have the fire source.
Yeah, he could complete desert on his first trip in, though it wouldn't be in logic without the desert small. Okay, there's another fire source.
There's your fire source.
That'll send them both to Skull Woods.
Yeah, definitely.
Another piece of info, Hera is a crystal. So that is at least knowledge on our end of 6 crystals, I think? Yeah, 6.
Oh, and there's the flippers.
Flippers are there? There must have been bombs then on...
no, it's the cape.
The cape. I completely
I skipped a step in my head.
Okay.
the flippers, the cape, same thing, whatever.
Well, yep, there's our Dark World access, so pod is now available. Though without a bow or hammer, you can't finish it.
These flippers will also likely lead Etium to finding that hookshot on Zora, since he can very conveniently get all those checks done at the same time. And what's even more fun, some portion of Ice Palace is also in logic. Can't forget that.
Oh man, a hammer and ice palace is always the worst. And they do have a small key, so if you went ice palace with icebreaker, which Andy could do, you wouldn't get locked in that one part at least.
Yeah, still though, like you'd want to put it off for a little bit at least, right?
Yeah, a little longer.
We got better things to do. We still got like Dark Death Mountain. Pod's not the worst.
Alright, so what's in this Skullwoods big? A compass. We got two checks in the back of Skullwoods that Andy is heading towards. Etium is also heading that way. And this lead's been pretty interesting so far. Just how these runners have routed some of their different choices have given them each advantages, but have also kind of given them each a disadvantage. So, yeah, really interesting to see which way this ends up going. Like, I can't tell really how this is going to play out as Andy finds powder. That powder doesn't open anything by itself because we do not have access to magic bats. And Etium's just going to walk out.
Yeah, a little weird that they both did the bridge test before the boss, honestly. Because like the boss maybe drops the mirror, and then you can get back from the bridge test a lot faster.
That's fair.
I guess the bridge test gives you the tempered sword, and then it's like, hey, Mothula doesn't suck.
I don't know what Andy's health was at, though. He might have been a little lower, so to some extent it might have made sense.
I think you're right. He was just intending to death warp.
So from that perspective, it was a little quicker to death warp before. And plus he gets a little extra health from Mothula, which is down already.
Yep, nice master sword fight. And it does not drop the mirror, so no time is gained or lost on either side.
Now Etium's taking on Mothula. Oh, I think we just got a confirmation on our 7th crystal. Mire is a crystal, which means Swamp has to be a pendant. And I already see one ugly... Oh, Etium's a little low. He takes a potion.
Yeah, he's got 2 potions. No danger. Didn't even need it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see a dangerous scenario already developing. And look at that Eastern and Pod with pendants. We could have a very late bow.
Potentially, yeah. All right, Etium taking care of the rest of the front of Skullwoods. Etium has already done these checks, though.
Question check, can both bows be in GT? With Eastern and Pod pendants, yes. Both can be in GT.
It's just unlikely, is all.
Yeah, especially with progressive bows. You're probably going to find one outside GT. But it is a possibility that they could both be in or locked behind it.
Etium already spied this information earlier, headed over to Bumper Cave to pick up those flippers. I got my flippy floppies.
We'll see what he does with them right away.
Yeah, we want to see him go to the flipper area, but he does have other places he can go, right? So
yeah, those put Pod in Logic with 4 keys. That would be a very attractive option right now. With the key situation,
he would definitely he'd definitely go to the flipper checks before doing that, but he might go to like desert or something.
Or
he's just gonna walk to catfish. Really? Okay. But the flipper checks, etium.
well, as long as etium does the flipper checks before going up Death Mountain, he will not lose much time. Like, actually, he probably won't even lose any time, really. But if he goes up Death Mountain before he gets the flipper checks, then he'll start to lose some time. Now, if the mirror is on Catfish, we laugh and...
Well, that just saves the day.
Yeah. Andy's also crossing the river. Is he also going to go for Catfish?
Yeah. I mean, this makes more sense for Andy, since he already has the hook shot and has seen a lot of things on Death Mountain, which isn't even in logic.
Nope, just a compass.
Not even going to pick it up.
I mean, how many frames does it pick up? I don't know how many frames it takes to pick something up. Especially with the
it's
text
a lot
box.
fewer frames. It's a lot fewer frames than getting lost in Turtle Rock and forgetting where Trinix is. Hopefully that doesn't happen to either of our runners, and the compass isn't important.
I mean, it'd be really tough to get lost in a non-door rando situation.
Turtle Rock is especially linear too.
But we have another divergence. Andy's heading to desert. As etium is probably going to hit a pod. I mean, talking about actually, about Turtle Rock. I mean, I remember as a kid that dungeon just seemed so long and so like difficult. But I was always going through these useless rooms. It probably took me a while to figure out that the pokey had a key. I just remember that dungeon being so annoying. There's a mushroom.
Mush, mush. Yeah, Andy going to Desert here for pretty much the same reason that etium did the back of... Okay. The back of Thieves Town, right? Is even though you're leaving something behind, you can definitely at least get the boss.
A similar situation also to Thieves Town in that you're expected to have the desert small to clear this.
Yeah, for the snakes, lamos.
Yeah, he's got this chest and he's got the big chest in logic. Can also spy the torch. Which has a small key. So I'll need the boots for that.
Could even be the Desert Palace monkey. It's possible.
And Quake Medallion. We might need that. We don't know yet. Yeah, looks like Andy's heading to the back. We'll see if he steals the key or if he goes and just clears Landmo right now.
Stealing the key would be absolutely insane. Why would he ever do that? Don't do that.
It's an okay move.
Kill the boss.
If it's an okay move if you do a save, or you basically set up a save or a reset.
Right, but then you don't.
So if you get,
boss.
Well, Andy's gonna go.
It's like
kill the boss.
you'd be trading a boss that I definitely have to kill to finish the seed for 2 checks that I might not ever need.
That
and
is,
if they're nothing, I can save and quit and then come back and kill the boss. But that costs a lot of time to do that. I don't know. I think stealing the key in this particular situation is crazy.
Yeah, that's
but
true. And
there are situations where it makes a bit more sense. Like if you can't kill the boss, right? Like we're missing fire source or a weapon or something.
That's a very fair point, I think I do agree with you. I think killing the boss right now is the better move.
I was all ready for Andy to steal the key and totally prove me wrong, but thank goodness. All right, etium performing literal magic to get over to the Bowlock side of pod.
He'll have to set up for a death warp here to get back to the front, which he is. He's taking damage as he walks up here. Meanwhile, I almost missed that Lammo fight, and he had to 2-cycle it.
No progression, but it is a crystal. We need those. Ooh, nice sword.
That's a nice pickup.
Yeah, that'll make his Mothula fight a lot easier.
And a small key to Turtle Rock. We need at least 3 of those. Is that our third? Yep, that's our third.
JP, you didn't catch what I said.
What did I miss?
I said it so you would correct me. He found the sword, and I said that'll make his Mothula fight easier.
Oh.
You were supposed to say, but they already did Mothula, and I was going to go, I know.
But they already did Mothula.
You'll get the next one. It'll be okay.
All right. So etium is going to check this chest here. Oh, no, never mind. That was weird. That was a bit of a fake out.
Yeah, so on 4 small keys, if we had the hammer and went down the Bowlock side 3 times, we could full clear the dungeon. Or we can open the middle door, skip 1 check, and do everything else.
Well,
so the 1 check he's choosing not to do is the vanilla big key chest there.
Well, Andy's going to go back out of Logic and go back up Death Mountain. We know that they need the flute for this to be in Logic.
Logic, schmalogic.
But it is 6-7 checks. But by going in the bottom portal, Andy is committing to not going into Turtle Rock for now.
Well, he also doesn't have a hammer.
Oh, good point.
Right. Although it is less embarrassing to forget that you need a hammer for Turtle Rock than to forget that you need a glove for Spike Cave. Which I know some people who've done that multiple times.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is Bombos to open Turtle Rock, which was on Hobo, which Andy has done and etium hasn't. Potential game changer right there.
Ooh, small key to
Thieves'
Thieves'
small
Town.
key for Thieves.
There's a 5th spot small on Andy's side.
All right, so having a 5 pod keys instead of 4 is a difference maker here. So when Andy goes to pod, he will absolutely open the vanilla big key chest, which etium is going to skip, unfortunately. So if it has something, like, again, potential difference maker, or it might just be nothing and no time is really lost. Oh, real quick hammering up there from etium. Now just don't die in the dark maze. That would be bad. Oh, hey, a castle tower key. We need those.
Yep, there's a one that adds. Well, no, that doesn't add any items in Logic just yet. So.
Yeah, I will later. Alright,
Now,
but otherwise, nothing to be found here for etium, so
No.
time to save and quit, or...
He's going to take a death, and he's going to go check that big key chest.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I will save scum it.
Well, he's trying to.
Yeah, you'd think it's really easy to die in a dark room with a bunch of enemies trying to murder you, but no, it's not. It's super difficult. And we do have blue mail, so it's 4 bombs instead of 2. There we go. All right, so what happens here is etium is going to choose the save and continue options, thus saving his game. If his power was to go out, when he came back to the game, it would be at this point in the progression. So he will spend his final small key to check this 1 chest instead of going to the boss, which he can't get to anyway. And if it's nothing, he'll just reset the console and back up to where he's saved just now. We're maintaining his possession of this small key. We call it save scumming because it's scummy or something. Hey, that's a good one. Yep,
okay.
Keep that one.
You're
We'll
keeping
find
that.
another pod key later. Don't worry about that. That's a good one.
All right, so I was a little wrong earlier on if we're going to find that. So the only big key we absolutely still need to find is the GT big key. And I think Etium is going to go turn in the mushroom. And from there, he could go do the Zora checks.
Yeah, I guess he might do that. Okay, this is actually really fantastic though for Etium that he did choose to save scum that key, because Andy was definitely going to check that chest because he has that extra small key. And because we know that extra small key is in a place that Etium is going to go eventually, there would be no issue with him being able to kill Helmosaur. So everything just kind of works out. I like it.
You know, a new check over here. Just red rupees. Etium could pick up a potion if he wants, and will.
And we're going to walk to the flipper area. Okay.
So the one danger here for Etium is he's going to isolate Hobo, which has a Bombos that we know we need.
He might not. He could take the Whirlpool over here.
That's true. We'll see what he does.
I think most people would, though. I think you're right. It makes more sense to not do Hobo, especially if you go to Zora first, right?
Yeah,
because you don't want to have to walk all the way back for the Whirlpool.
So that is something we're going to have to watch Etium for. See how long it takes him to find Bombos. Good news is Turtle Rock isn't a pendant, so he won't be searching GT for it, at least.
Yeah, if he doesn't do Hobo now, which I think is likely, he'll skip it. Doing it like right before or after Ice Palace is the most likely time that he'll take care of it.
So Etium will get his hookshot, but we still don't have logical access up Death Mountain.
What do we have left, though? Is it just Ice Palace?
I think Ice Palace is definitely... Do we have anything else? It might. You might be right. It might just be Ice Palace.
We have the Eastern Palace Big Key, but unfortunately it was out of logic.
And that's only one extra check. You don't want to go back into Eastern just for that.
Well, it'd be 2 if it was in logic, because of the boss in Fire Rod.
Can't get to the boss in Eastern. No bow.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You need that, don't you?
Yep.
What is this? 51 minutes? We don't have a bow? This is ridiculous. And Etium just immediately goes to Hobo. So there you go.
Okay, so he'll be fine.
Does this mean we're going to Ice Palace? Surely
I think
not.
this is the Ice Palace.
Surely not.
Etium has Etium sequence broke at all this seed? Nope, maybe not.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, even if he doesn't like the sequence break, like going to a gajillion checks on the mountain sounds a little better than Hammerless Ice Palace.
Yeah, plus in his mind, it's like it could be the lamp that gets you up there. And if it's the lamp that gets you up here, you don't want to look for that. Just go up Death Mountain. So for Etium, this makes a lot of sense. Like, if it's the lamp that gets you up here, then you just never worry about it. But he'll get the lamp up here and he'll know, okay, I need to find the flutes. And if he's been tracking his checks, he'll kind of have an idea of where the flute will be. Looking at our dungeon count, we've got... Both our rounds have 2 dungeons done. They both have Skull Woods, and then Andy has Desert versus Etium's Thieves Town. Andy, my guess is after he's done in Pod, he's going to go to Thieves Town. Because, well, actually, he did the front. So it's only 3 checks in Thieves Town. And Ice would have technically more checks.
Definitely a more punishing double dip, though, in Ice Palace. How many checks do we have in Ice? Like 4?
I think 4 logical, maybe 5.
Okay, so we get the first one, and then we can sequence break the vanilla big key chest, spike chest, freezers, icy. 5. 4 in logic, 5 total.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember that second chest in Castle Tower, which actually isn't in logic until we find flutes.
Oh my god, where's this flute? No, am I kidding? It's obviously Ice Palace.
Oh, well, Chad talking about flute first chest swamp, but we would need the mirror for that.
We're not quite there. It looks like Andy is gonna go to whatchamacallit, Ice Palace.
Oh, we do have purple chests sitting out there too.
Oh, that's fun. Andy still hasn't been to Dark Death Mountain either.
No, and he has.
Wait, has he? No,
Yep.
he has. Never mind. I'm silly. All right, Andy still has Waterfall Fairy. That's right.
Oh yeah, he couldn't do this
unable
earlier.
to do this earlier.
Yeah, I just assumed he had, but I don't think I'd even found anything in here anyway. So.
No, it was empty. But this is the time. This is the moment. Ice Palace is the play.
So there's a bunch of items we could find here. We could find the flute. We could find the mirror. We could find the hammer. We could find a bow.
It could be completely empty, and Purple Chest just has everything. Who knows? I hope it's not empty. That would be super gross.
Alright, so over on Andy's side, we've got the new checks. A hammer!
First chest. All right, well now we can almost full clear ice.
And he's out. He doesn't want to do anything else than ice.
Not willing to risk the big chest just yet. Heading on to the mountain. Or, no, not the mountain. Where are we going? Oh, to Thieves. He's going to Thieves.
Yeah, a small key plus the hammer.
Right, yeah, this is the moment where Andy may just straight up win the game, honestly.
Yeah,
as horrible as it is for the game to come to this one single decision, it is very possible that the big chest of Thieves Town just has something so good that locks very little, like a Castle Tower small key or something similar, that etium ends up last locationing it. Because that's really a terrible location to ever have to go back to.
Yeah.
More likely, it's nothing and no big deal.
Yeah, that hammer opens up enough spots. I mean, that's basically the rest of Ice Palace minus the big chest. That opens up hammer pegs. Actually, that doesn't open up as much as I think it does, by itself at least. It does open up Magic Bat. It does open up Turtle Rock.
Well, not yet.
Doesn't?
The mountain. We don't have mountain access.
Oh, yep, you're right. We need logical access. Yes.
My flute.
We need that flute, so we stop forgetting the Death Mountain is not logical.
If it's an important enough check, etium will get bottlenecked by it sooner, and it'll be less costly, although still very costly.
I mean, worst
case scenario, the Castle Tower small key.
Yeah. Worst case for both would be Castle Tower small. Worst case for etium would be if it's in the Thieves Town big, and worst case for Andy is if it was a little further into Ice Palace.
I mean, it's a Thieves Town big key. Big chest is the Castle Tower small key.
Oh.
Because there would be no reason for etium to ever be forced to go back there early, because it doesn't do anything. But we'll see what it is.
So I think that's it for checks up here for etium. No access.
Get the medallion real quick before he saves and quits.
So he's basically got to go to ice now. Meanwhile, we're Andy is closing in on the big chest.
Looks like Etium's going to head over to Desert. We did already see this from Andy.
If he'll get a crystal, but that's going to be it. Nothing else for progression there. Over. All right, here we go on Andy's side. Hold your breath for a second. Is this something big?
That's...
Oh, okay. We don't know.
It's essentially a fetch quest.
Okay, so we don't know. It's 2 more items, but we don't know. I don't think Andy checks that right away. He's already done deserts. It's a long way to go for 2 checks.
I think he would just go back to sequence breaking before that, like go to Hera or something. Nice. Blind script there. Taken out. The poor little blind.
Now, Andy does have a way you could check it quick. If he goes pick a purple chest right now. And he could combo that easily. And if he thinks that's an advantage, he might do that.
Quick is a relative term there. You're still walking all the way over there and doing the cutscene to open the dungeon.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Andy's going to do hammer pegs, pick up the purple chest. So another new check here from Andy. Just some arrows.
So I think it's definitely not unlikely that he goes over to check this Desert Palace small key. So like from Andy's point of view, he knew he could have just done the back of Thieves earlier and skipped the big chest. So the big chest leading to a question mark like this, you want to know the answer to that question. Is this the make it or break it point in the seed or not? I need to know. Tell me now.
Yep. So we're good. He's gonna check it. 2 items on the left of Desert. If either of them is important, major advantage, Andy.
It's such a long walk, though.
He almost walked right by the...
He was going to bring the purple chest with him.
Now, on the other side, though, if this is nothing, that's time Etium's going to save that Andy spent.
Yeah, Etium is... if this leads to no progression, it's very likely Etium will never find the Desert Palace small key. And all this time it takes Andy to walk to Desert, do the cutscene, walk, screen transition, popo, chest. That's time Etium just won't be spending.
Meanwhile, is Etium gonna finally go to ice? Alright, moment of truth on Andy's side. Flute!
Oh no! Okay, well, that's not good for Etium. So that's hard required.
Now, if Etium's tracking his logic, that's not the worst thing, but it's definitely not good for him.
Oh, it's plenty bad for sure. The flute does lock enough, especially logically, that I think Etium will make his way back to Thieves Town sooner rather than later. But it's still a huge time loss, definitely.
But I did have to say, this seed's logic is, oh man, this hurts. So you were expected to go into Ice Palace to get the hammer, to go back into Thieves Town, or to go into Thieves Town to get the big chest for the Desert Small, to go into Desert to get the flute.
Where was the Thieves Small?
Oh, it was in the Dark Maze of Pod, which you had to have the fire rod to get through, since the lamp was up on Death Mountain.
In the rupee maze.
Yep. The logic kind of hurts my head here.
All right, Eddie's gonna stay in Ice Palace. He knows he can kill the boss here, even though it's not logically accessible.
He's got to flip the switch, even if he's going to Icebreaker, because he does not have the big key. Did we say Dark Maze? I thought I said the Rupee Room.
You did say Dark Maze, but I know what you meant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I might have said Dark Maze, but I meant Rupee Room.
Dark Maze had the Castle Tower small key. That's probably where your brain got kerfuffled. Eddie is spending a bit of extra magic there to do Icebreaker, but he has got plenty.
Yeah. And if you are rooting for Etium, you kind of want him to come up empty here and not find anything. Finding something like the mirror could be bad for him. Okay.
Hey! That seems good.
Well, at least he knows now he will not be leaving that behind.
Yeah, Ice Palace, big key in the Ice Palace. So Andy left Ice Palace earlier because he didn't have this big key. So who knows how long it's going to be before he comes back, only to find out the big key was there the whole time. After a Meyer clear, at least, because that's where we're headed for Andy.
Yeah, Andy can full clear Meyer. Only one small key, but for Meyer, you logically don't need... I mean, there's chests you need small keys for in Meyer, but to clear Meyer, at least kill Vitreous, you don't need any small keys.
Yeah, this definitely ends up being a small time save for Etium, not having to come back to Ice later like Andy will. Not like super significant, but helpful, definitely.
Small to Skull doesn't really do anything at this point. The big small key we're still looking for is the Swamp Small. Also, are we in hour 7 and that's our first GT Small?
Maybe that means we won't have to full clear again in Sour.
Oh, there's our second GT Small.
Never mind. The seed is not over. The race will never end until we find the Castle Tower small key number 2. So no matter how far ahead or behind our runners feel, or are, or look, it ain't over till we kill the Aga.
So right now the big thing for Etium is he needs to stay in Logic. If he stays in Logic, he'll find that flute sooner rather than later. But if he starts sequence breaking and finds other stuff, that's going to be bad. But he knows
I'm trying to think if there's anything in Logic for Etium right now, other than the Thieves Big.
Castle Tower, second... Nope, that's not in Logic.
Yeah, I think he's done everything. If he's paying attention, he should know 100% that the Thieves Town Big Chest leads to the flute. Unless I'm just forgetting something.
Probably are.
I usually do.
He's gonna go check. No, he can't check Bombo's tablet. He can't get in the swamp. What's he going through this portal for? Oh, Big Bomb. Pyramid Fairy. That just came into logic for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, not logic, but... Oh, yeah, it is logic, you're right. Because we the Ice Valve's big key, I forgot.
Yep, this Pyramid Fairy isn't logic. You know, I don't think Andy has come up with anything too big in Mire so far. I want to say swamp because it's kind of in a swamp, but it's not swamp. This is Mire. And Hammer Pegs is a spot Etium will now have in Logic 2, which might convince him to go back into Thieves Town. Small key to Turtle Rock. That's all 4 of our Turtle Rock smalls. But we don't have an ice rod to finish it. Okay. Yeah.
It's really good. It's good for Etium. It's just, you know, more time before he goes and gets the flute. I'm really worried that he's not going to get the flute. Okay, so he knows that the bow doesn't lead to anything in logic, right? No, it does. Armos. Yeah, Armos is logic.
Yeah, Armos would be in logic. No, it wouldn't. It's locked behind 6 pods.
You're right. All right, so that should be it then.
He's going to Hera.
That should be it. There are no more... Yeah, he's going out of logic, but there should be no more in-logic checks for Etium, except for the Thieves Town big chest. So if he's paying attention, he knows that that's progression. Although, by how he's not going there, it makes me think that he isn't paying attention. That'd be bad. That might be bad.
Yeah, he's probably going to Hera here, especially since he just got that Hera small. And then he might go
TR too.
If he remembers his logic, that's the big thing. He's got to remember his logic.
And it is actually kind of challenging, you guys, if you're curious, to keep up with the logic in a seed like this, where it's been an hour and 11 minutes. How am I supposed to remember where the stupid lamp was? Is that important? Who cares?
I don't think he hasn't checked the TT big chest. So, and he has the lamp, so he knows that's not it. But he also knows he doesn't have logical access up here. Meanwhile, Andy's finished Mire. That's his 4th dungeon. They both have 4 done. And yeah, Andy is probably going to go into Hera and then into Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah, this could be another way for Etium to save time. That bow in Pyramid Fairy. Probably going to elude Andy for a while, since he's waiting for the Ice Valve's big key.
Now, here's another check that could give Etium some hope. Is the Hera basement. This small key was in Pyramid Fairy. If this is something big, Andy's probably not getting this for a long time.
Oh, that's silly that there's two Thieves Town big chests. Right? This is the other Thieves Town big chest.
It is.
But it's for the other runner this time. All Dungeons Key Sanity is the best game mode.
I'm trying to think what would be good. Like GT Big Key Boots might help him. What else could help him down here?
Castle Tower Small Key.
Oh!
It's a big key for... No, another fetch quest.
Could this happen twice? Where we get a key in an isolated chest leading to something?
I'm sure it's nothing.
Yeah, for now, we can't check that anyway. We don't have the mirror.
Or the small cube for that matter.
Well, that's... Yeah, we need that too.
A quick little hair pot there for Andy. He does have the big key, so that wasn't necessary like for sequence breaking or anything, but it does end up being a little faster than climbing if you can do it quickly like he did. I forget what the time difference is. It's like somewhere between like 4 and 8 seconds or something.
Next up is a Moldorm fight that will be very easy with a Tempered Sword. And they're down at basically the same time. Some red meal for their troubles and their 5th crystal.
It is so amusing to me when we watch 1v1 races of this game that no matter how wide the divergence, there's always some point in the mid and late game where they just completely sync up. This happens with every single race. It doesn't matter who the runners are, what kind of speed it is.
With Turtle Rock available to them, they're both saying, I want Spike Cave instead.
It's not too surprising. Like, double dipping Turtle Rock is kind of a win or lose kind of moment. And I feel like they both feel like they have better places to be.
That's also a good point. If they go into Turtle Rock without Mirror, they're isolating Mimic Cave. Alright, Etium. He's probably going...
Ooh, Andy's going TR.
Yeah, Andy's going TR. Etium, I think, is going to Eastern. Kind of looking through what we've got at this point. Once we have the Ice Rod, then GT opens up as a possibility. Mirror can be in GT. The Swamp Small can be in GT. The Castle Small can be in GT. The Boots could be in GT.
Trying to think about Etium's reasoning here. So, like, if we assume that he is paying attention and he knows that the flute has to come from the Thieves' Town Big Chest, it wouldn't make sense to do this first, right? Like, you would just go get the flute. Well, but then, you know, maybe he comes over here thinking, oh, what if the mirror's here? And then I could finish out the mirror checks while I'm getting the Thieves' Town Big Chest or something, but yeah, I don't know.
This is locked by 6 pod smalls, but otherwise it's basically in logic. So I don't blame Etium for
it's locked this. It's locked by the flute, because the 6 pod small was locked by the flute.
Yeah, but pod small logic you don't really care about as much.
No, but so flute logic you care, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you do. But I still think this makes some sense to do.
To answer chat, all dungeons means that in order to kill Ganon, for Ganon to become vulnerable in Phase 4, we have to collect all the dungeon prizes. So 7 crystals, 3 pendants, and kill Aga 1 and Aga 2.
You kind of just think about it a little further. Like, as long as you're clearing dungeons, even if you're out of logic, it's not that bad.
I'm just trying to figure out if there's any reason he would do these dungeons first if he was paying attention. I think more likely he just doesn't know that the flute's there. And he's just going to places that are efficient.
Yeah, that is a more likely possibility. He's going to run out of spots sooner rather than later. Though...
We hope so.
The one bad thing could be is if he goes with Turtle Rock. But we don't know what's in Turtle Rock yet, though.
It's gonna be the mirror, I bet.
Well, Eastern comes up with nothing, but he gets a dungeon clear out of it. And I'm guessing he's going to leap down, hit the portal, and go to pod. Oh, maybe not. He's starting at Sanctuary. He knows he's got powder and hammer pegs. This is, if he heads to CAC, this is his best opportunity to get it. So he's gonna do powder first because no mirror. He's got to do this so for at least a little bit of efficiency.
I'd say as long as he goes into Thieves Town this trip to Kakariko, he still has a good chance. Like he'd be behind still because it is costly to double dip. But I think he still definitely has a chance, especially with the bow and potentially the Swamp big chest playing in his favor.
You know, Lava Chest in Turtle Rock was nothing, so as long as etium doesn't check that, he'll be fine with 3 keys in Turtle Rock.
Because the 4th one was in Meyer, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, well, I'll probably get the 4th one before going to TR anyway.
Alright, he's staying in CAC. And he's got the hammer out again. Is he going to go into Thieves Town, or is he just going to check hammer pegs in the purple chest?
Oh yeah, these are in Logic, huh? Shoot. He may not go into Thieves. Oh, he's not going to go into Thieves.
Yeah, if he doesn't do it, as you said before, if he doesn't do it this pass, then he's going to start losing time. And the way he's walking...
This is Thieves. This is Thieves.
He's going in.
Let's go to Thieves! Yay! The race isn't over! Thank goodness.
Alright, so as much as etium's delayed this is not going to hurt him much as long as he checks Desert quick, which my guess is he's going to do hammer pegs and purple chest like Andy did. Wait, what are you doing, etium?
He's setting up a death warp.
Oh, he's setting up a death warp. Okay, just for later. He's just setting it up for later. Okay.
I mean, it could be mirror in this chest though, so like, why are you doing it so early? But whatever.
Meanwhile, Andy's side, he's getting the laser bridge. We've been paying attention to etium, but Andy's got 4 checks on laser coming up.
So it was weird how he like went to Eastern and then didn't go to pod. I bet he was using the time he was going to Eastern to think about the logic, right? He was trying to work it out in his head. And like all those rooms in Eastern were very, ooh, nice ice rod and laser bridge.
Classic ice rod and laser bridge.
Wow, ice rod in its vanilla location. How often do you see that?
So Andy at this point now has well, he doesn't know he has access to GT, but he does. Because he doesn't know where the Ice Palace big key is.
Yeah, he's not going to put it off for much longer, though. Like, he put it off at the start for efficiency's purposes, but eventually it just becomes your best play. So definitely still advantage Andy, especially with that ice rod.
Why didn't you just stay in the last
room? Yeah,
on the pit there?
There were pits in that last room, Eddie. Okay.
So, but this is really good for etium. He's going to do hammer pegs and grab that purple chest. That should take him back into Desert to get his flutes. And at that point, if he just goes straight to Meyer and then to Turtle Rock, he's in really good shape. I think Andy might Well, no, Etium's got an Eastern clear ahead of Etium, so... Or Etium's got an Eastern clear ahead of Andy. So
Wow,
it's still
Andy
hard
not
to
finding
say.
any progression in this dungeon. Well, I guess he got the ice rod, whatever, but still.
Yeah,
That's not what we were hoping for. We were hoping for the mirror or something. So at this point, I feel like Andy has to go to Ice Palace. Like, it's just time.
Yeah.
Ice Palace, big key, be darned.
At this point, too, you have to start to realize GT is potentially available. And everything else we need for progression could be in GT.
Oh, he's going second Castle Tower chest.
Oh, makes sense.
No, it doesn't. But
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like, it's not like the worst play or anything or whatever, but it's I would have gone to Ice Palace, I think. I
feel like he's trying to clear everything before going to Ice now.
Yeah, Andy is playing super safe this seed, like not going to the Back of Thieves, not continuing in Ice Palace after finding the hammer. He doesn't want to leave a single stone unturned. He knows he has the execution advantage. Etium knows he has the execution advantage, so Andy is playing it to his advantage, to his playing to his strength, right? Being very, very thorough and efficient, rather than taking gambles that might cost him the race.
So Etium is heading into the desert. He's about to get a salute. He'll probably feel a bit behind. So I do expect him to go to Meyer, clear that out, go to TR, clear that out, and then just go to GT. And Andy does not pay off.
But it is for Ice Palace.
I don't know if Andy checked the bomb merchant when he was there.
The bottle merchant?
No, the bomb shop.
Oh, you mean to know where the red crystals are?
Yeah.
No, he didn't check that. All right, Andy's run out of decent checks. Time to go to Ice Palace, where he will be rewarded with his Ice Palace big key that he was waiting for. Does a quick map check there. Wants to know if this is a pendant or a crystal. Meanwhile, Etium does go into desert, like you said, after purple chest, gets his flute, and he's now back on track. Although, still behind. Definitely still behind.
A little behind. He does have an Eastern Palace clear over Andy, which is another thing. Andy doesn't have a bow yet. There is a second...
and then after Ice Palace, I bet Andy doesn't go to Pyramid Fairy. Like, GT is more likely.
He might do Pyramid Fairy. As you said, he's been thorough, so... He might do Pyramid Fairy for safety. But he definitely won't do Hera Basement, which had that swamp big that we still won't know for a while.
Like question mark. At this point, it does look like the mirror is likely in GT. So that's fun.
I think the only thing that actually that swamp big could lock that we still need is the other castle tower small.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, it could lock the GT big too. And Andy gets the news that the Ice Palace big key was in Ice Palace all along.
This dungeon. So silly. Not as silly as like Meyer big or TR big or something.
Chat pointing out we also still have the small key on the Desert Palace torch.
Awesome.
So yeah, boots could still come into play in this seed, even though we haven't found them in nearly an hour and a half.
Etium headed into Meyer. He can full clear it and will do so. Although I think the only thing we found here was like a TR small.
Yeah. The thing I wonder he might do is if he's gonna skip a cutscene chest or not. I don't know if Andy even did that one though.
I have no idea.
So as we get to like the
Andy did the cutscene chest. Okay, yeah, that would
Okay.
make sense. That'd be a pretty spicy call if Andy like plays incredibly thoroughly the entire seed, but skips this one check.
All right.
Although we've seen players do stuff like that before.
So if etium could save some time if he does skip that chest. And if he's feeling behind, I do expect him to start skipping a few chests here and there. Nope, never mind. He's going to do cutscene.
I think Etium probably feels behind, but I think he would always feel behind against Andy, right?
That's fair.
I talked to him before, and we were talking about gambling against someone like Andy, because I think it's safe to say Andy's a stronger execution player than Etium, but this is such a volatile mode. Etium said that he didn't feel like he needs to make like giant game-ending gambles against Andy. He just wants to play his own game and do his very best. And if the seed lines up well, it'll be a win.
So that's 7 crystals for Andy. He has GT access. But we know where one bow is. It's in Pyramid Fairy. There is a second out there.
Yeah, GT's a lot more items, but Pyramid Fairy would be safer to do first, I guess, if not a bit slower.
He's starting at his house. I gotta think this is
this is Pyramid Fairy. Well, that's bad news for Etium, though, because this was one of the ways that Etium had an advantage over Andy, was having the Pyramid Fairy.
Though I don't expect...
Because now Andy will get the bow here and then full clear Eastern and Pod, and then go to GT.
Yeah, he'll do both before GT for safety. So at the hour and a half mark, let's give a quick reminder of where we're at. These two teams are tied for first place in their division. Winner will at least have a share of first place at the end of this week. Might be a share, could be sole possession. Ooh, rough fall there for Etium. And whoever loses this one's going to fall into at least a second place tie, if not a third place tie. And at this point, we also talk about tiebreakers, because in game 1, I believe it was Futon beats Sailor Nep. So if Pug Trio takes this game, they're also going to have the tiebreaker over Titan's Mitts. So a lot on the line here.
So Andy does do Pyramid Fairy. He gets his Hera Small Key, blah, and his bow. Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, what? You're not going to walk over to Pod?
He's just going to...
I thought he would just walk to Pod.
No, he's going to
flute there, I guess. All right.
A little faster.
Is it? I think it's faster to walk there from Pyramid, rather than saving, quitting, fluting, and then re-entering the Dark World.
I was going to say he's going to do Eastern first, but never mind. He's not.
Might be like a reflex save and quit. And then during the save and quit cutscene, he realizes, oh yeah, Pod.
So Pod, we only left... All that's left in Pod is the item in Helmosaur plus green... Oh, I see what he's doing now. Okay. So he's going to clear Pod, get the green pendant, turn that in, and then do Eastern. Yep. Or he's going to do Eastern, then turn the green pendant in.
Mirror on Helmosaur is possible, sure. A lot more likely it's just in GT, though, at this point.
So we're going to see Etium do some NMG strats on Vitreous.
Another boss kill there for Etium. GG's.
So both of them have 7 bosses done at this point. Andy will get his 8th boss a little bit before etium. So Andy definitely has a little bit of a lead here. The only real advantage etium has at this point is that Swamp Big.
Right, yeah, so, and the only thing we really need to finish the seed anymore is the Ganosaur Big Key and the Castle Tower Small Key. So if one of those is in Swamp Big Chest and Andy skips Terror Basement, etium still wins, right? But if not, it's going to be all execution, and etium has quite a bit of time to make up.
Yeah. We're basically 4 items from Go mode still. Castle Tower Small, GT Big, Swamp Small, and Mirror. I know Chad was asking about this earlier. Of those items, the GT Big and the Castle Tower Small can be unped.
Is that where we're at right now? Is pedestal?
We've got so much.
I think we can avoid talking about pedestal until at least we have the mirror and the swamp small, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Let's give it some time, chat.
Alright, so Andy's got his 8th dungeon and his green pendant. We'll see a save and quit, and they'll go to Eastern, and then probably check green pendant after that. At this point, I'd say the difference between these two is going to be a Turtle Rock clear.
Yep. Yeah, when all's said and done, it's about 4 or 5 minutes between them. The majority of that came from the Thieves Town double dip for etium. And then some portion of it from just Andy having strong execution by comparison. We see it a lot whenever they're synced up, right? When Andy just like pulls ahead slightly each room, like 1 second here, 1 second there. Over the course of a 2-hour seed, those little seconds, they add up real quick.
That is true. Like we have seen that, as you mentioned, during the sync times. Just Andy just has a slightly better movement, saves. What?
This is what we get for talking about how good Andy is. He just completely kerfluffled that room.
Yeah. Well,
just
even the
pots
best
all over the place.
Even the best have mistakes here and there.
All right, we won't say anything nice about Andy anymore. That way he won't get nervous and play poorly.
All right, etium about to grab his 8th dungeon clear. Andy's on his way to his 9th. So I gotta think etium will turn in that green pendant before going to TR. I think he's just trying to make sure he doesn't isolate. Yeah, he started at 4. He's gonna go turn in that green pendant quick. I gotta think he's just trying to cover all his bases before going into Turtle Rock to make sure he tries to find that ice rod. Because I think after this, all he's got left is Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he knows after Turtle Rock he's just going to go straight into GT. So, like, this not only the ice rod, but this could be the mirror or the swamp small or the GT big key.
If this ends up being mirror, all of a sudden etium's got another out. It's nothing. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's gonna find the mirror in GT anyway.
Well, yeah, what I was thinking was if that was the mirror, then etium had a second out with Mimic Cave.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Oh god, Mimic Cave could be the answer.
That is still sitting there. That could be the answer. One of the
Probably going to be one of the later checks they do. Most likely they go to GT and just find everything and then they're done.
Yeah, it's so odd. Like an hour 40 in. Oh, not quite an hour, but basically at an hour 40 in, we're still looking for 4 items for Go mode.
So this is where we can see the time difference between them. So Andy has done everything that etium has done, and is headed to Ganon's Tower because etium hasn't done everything that Andy has done. Still has Turtle Rock left. Except for Hair Basement, I guess. That's true. Forgot about that one.
And Andy's not going to be checking that. I guess I could, if he gets Mirror and GT.
Yeah, he might do it like after GT, but I agree he's not going to walk all the way over there just for Hair Basement.
Yeah, if Andy's going to check Hair Basement, it's going to be basically after he finds the mirror in the GT basement.
I don't think he'll do it even then, honestly. I guess if he finds the mirror but not the swamp small key, he would do it. Right? But if you have both, then it's like, well, I can just go full clear swamp. Why would I do Hair Basement?
Though mirror in the gauntlet could be a pretty ugly situation too. But we need to find the GT big key before we can even think about that. So.
It's I mean, like one is going to be here, right? There's going to be some progression here. You're
going to find something here. There's 4 pieces you need. There's 22 checks in the basement. We're not playing the game because there's no guarantee what we're going to find here. All right, here we go. Andy's starting in Hope Room. Next big key you see will be the GT big key, at least. Hey, there's the boots.
Finally. We're just going to do Tower Room, right? We're missing like a gajillion things for Go mode. Like, you just do Tower Room, surely. Nope, skipping it. Okay.
Oh, hey, nice Sank Heart refill there. There's the mirror.
And
that's
there is
one item.
That mirror.
So 3 items for Go mode. Yeah, Etium's still working his way through Turtle Rock. We got checks 8, 9, 10, and 11. Small key to ice. One ice small key can always be in GT, just because you could just be expected to use the Cane of Samari to finish Ice Patless. Alright, we got a map that's not going to help us at this point.
Now we know that Swamp's a pendant, though. That's good.
Yeah, we do need that info. I'm sure they'll.
You can't overestimate the value of knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, that was. Is that Schoolhouse Rock?
Something like that.
Anyway, Andy's getting into Rando Room. Not many checks left here. I mean, the mirror's good, but it just opens up some overworld spots that you really don't want to go to right now.
Yeah, like
so you're hoping for another item here.
No friendly location is unlocked by the mirror.
Arrows, rupee. There's got to be something else in here. I mean, it's possible that some of the progression is just in swamp, but we need the swamp small for that.
Like I was saying earlier, if he doesn't find the swamp small key in here, he's very likely to do Hera Basement. He may do it anyway, honestly, just because he's playing so thoroughly, but like if you're going to skip anything, it's going to be Hera Basement, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's the big key to GT. So that opens up 5 extra checks in here. And we're 2 items away now. Andy will hopefully remember to check the big chest. Small key to Meyer. Yep, Andy remembers GT big chest. Swamp small, castle tower small. That's what we're looking for.
And Andy is going to tower room. Okay.
Etium's got his ice rod.
Etium. Nope.
So if there's nothing else in here, we've got mirror checks. We've got graveyard ledge. We've got we have mirror checks and boots checks. Graveyard ledge, King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks.
So there was a small key on Desert Torch and on Hylia Island. We're missing the Castle Tower key, the Swamp key, and a GT key. And that's all the keys, right?
I think so. Andy is climbing GT, so Hera Basement will be left behind, at least for now.
So we need 2 small keys of the 3 that remain, and we know where 2 small keys are. So, has anybody got a calculator? What are the odds that one of those is not the Cadence Tower small key?
Well, Etium is done in Turtle Rock. But he's now a basement behind Andy. Yeah. I mean, there's a very good chance if they both know that there's 2 small keys outside there, then they'll both definitely go for those keys first. But actually, finding one of the keys upstairs GT would be good, because that would mean then you're basically in go mode. So if you see any key in a chest of upstairs GT, you're in go mode. Andy's in go mode. But meanwhile, Etium just starting. He's going to get his boots pretty quick as well. Etium heading to the right. He'll get his mirror. He's going to start in tile room. The best case scenario for Andy is he finds a Castle Tower small before the Swamp small. If the Swamp small comes first, and that Castle Tower small is lingering, Etium still has 1 out. but that's a pretty long shot at this point.
It's very, very long shot indeed.
Chests upstairs, GT. Rupees and bombs. Another rupee. So Andy's got to take down Moldrum 2 to check this last chest. Technically, this is locked behind all GT4 smalls, but not a key. So still 3 keys pending. 2 we know of. Or 2 we know where they are, but we don't know what they are.
This is nerve-wracking.
I mean, Andy does have the lead. It's just we don't know until we get out of here. And
Yeah, unfortunately, etium's only out is if one of those 2 small keys we know about is the Gainus Tower small key, and the missing small key is in the Swamp Big Chest specifically. No other location is really going to save him unless he does Graveyard Ledge or something.
So that actually is a good point too, because we guarantee that one of those 2 small keys we know about is the Swamp Small.
Why?
Because
not necessarily.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right.
It could still be in any of the other locations. It can't be in Swamp Big Chest. That's true.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, it's not guaranteed. If one of those isn't the Swamp Small though, then we're on a Swamp Small hunt. And Andy's got a pretty good advantage.
Alright, so there goes GT for Andy. Full cleared completely. Heading over to the Desert Palace Torch first. See what that is.
This is probably going to be a 200+ location check for these 2 runners. Well, it depends on if they have to check Swamp, I guess. It could end up being 190s. Alright. First key. GT!
Alright, well, if Hylia Island is the Swamp Small, etium is still alive.
I'm honestly a little surprised Andy didn't just go straight to check checkerboard as well while he was in the area. I guess he just really wants to check.
That would have been a good check. Because this is either going to be the Swamp Small or the Castle Tower Small, and neither of them are super friendly.
Well, etium's got his GT big key. He's thinking what he wants to do.
He wants to go after the big chest first.
Swamp Small.
Alright, etium is okay, I don't know what etium's doing anymore.
So, yep, as expected, Andy's going to take that Swamp Small, go straight into Swamp. 10 checks in here, 9 of which Andy can check. If we see a small key, Andy's in go mode. Even if say that Small's in the Swamp's big chest, it still is going to take a little bit for etium to catch up. Because Andy still has even enough time. Andy's got enough time to basically full clear Swamp and then check some overworld spots before etium even gets to Swamp. Never mind, there it
Okay,
is.
there it is. First chest. That is go mode for Andy. Unfortunately, not much hope for Etium to catch up anymore.
Now it's just a go mode swamp for Andy and then a climb up Castle Tower. Well, that could have been a lot worse. I mean, I guess we got our bad dose of logic from that flute logic, which... Man, that flute logic was some convoluted stuff.
Yeah, real rude with the flute. Andy played it very safely and ended up having it pay off. Etium lost a bit of time though from the double dip.
So if these results hold, then Pug Trio will sweep the week over Titans Mitts, and they'll move into at least a tie for first. It's also worth noting that next week Pug Trio plays Komodo Hypers, who are also fighting for playoff spots, and that series is basically going to be for playoff spots. And that's actually not even... That's going to be a pretty tough series for Pug Trio. They have... Komodo Hypers is Fraime, Chex Human, and Kyung, which is a very strong team.
Oh, most definitely. Although, it's not like Pug Trio is full of slouches, right?
Yeah, of course. Speaking of which, next week we get into the last of our co-op weeks, which is Co-op Randomizer. That is going to be a very interesting week to watch, as not only is that an interesting mode, but a lot of teams are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. Yeah. Andy is heading into Aga Tower. Just a climb of Aga Tower and then a Ganon fight away. It's going to be a silverless fight, which is fine. They got more than enough for that.
I mean, it's not like he has any arrows anyway.
He has that one arrow. So what else do we have even left for the silvers to be? I guess they're probably somewhere in Swamp.
Or some terrible mirror location.
But yeah, I mean, Andy's collection will probably be right around 200. Etium on his Aga 2 fight going pretty well.
Very nice.
Yeah, Etium leaving GT. He just has to go pick up that Swamp Small from the island, and then this Castle Tower Small from the first chest of Swamp. Which is heading straight to that Lake Hylia Island.
Hopefully he doesn't, forget about the desert follow small key too.
He might just get the swamp small and say I'm going straight into swamp. No, he is going to go check it quick, which makes sense.
Okay.
He knows it's a small key.
Yeah, I mean, we know this is nothing, but if like this could easily have been the Castle Tower small key, and it would have been ruined his day.
Well, Andy taking some blue balls in the Aga fights. I think Etium's going to give us that graveyard ledge check. Or not graveyard ledge, checkerboard check.
Yeah, not super crazy or anything. Because you know, like your next play is to full clear swamp, right?
Yeah.
Well, so one pretty quick overroll check seems like a good idea. Just
there was either. But Andy's at the Ganon fights. Gold Sword, the first two phases will be really quick. I mean, not much difference between Gold and Tempered, but Gold will ensure one cycles in the first two phases. Andy getting a little impatient, just dashing there, wanting to move on. We're about to find out where silver arrows were.
Ugh. Missed the slash.
Oh!
Yep. Oh no.
All right. Well, that hurts.
All right. If Andy just does that like 100 more times, we got a race.
Yeah, that's not going to hurt Andy at all. He just saves him right back up there.
So in phase 3, Ganon will do like the big ring of fire every time he lands, unless you hit him soon enough. And what happened was Andy failed to hit him soon enough on the last hit, and suddenly there's this giant ring of fire blocking his path to the torch that he needs to light.
Meanwhile, Etium did pick up his Castle Tower small. He is now in go mode. All right, phase 4 coming up. Andy gonna try to get a spin off to start. Gets it. Got his torch glitch. Now he just needs 11 more spins. So I already got 3. There's the 4th. Halfway done. Well, Eddie, I'm gonna see if maybe Eddie will show us some silvers here. Nope. Probably left side swamp.
Did he do the big
but
chest?
I don't think he did. Did he? Maybe he did, but I don't remember. Actually, I think he did. Yep, that is GG as Andy finishes off Ganon.
GG!
And Andy officially finishes in first place at the time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 8 seconds. Oh, etium going with some ice rod strats.
Not sure it was the right move at that time. You can one cycle with the ice rod, and it's pretty nifty to see. But he ran out of time because it took him too long to quick swap to it.
So with that win, Pug Trio officially gets to 27 points. They are in first place, potentially a tie pending what is going on in the other race, Era 216 versus We Are the Imposters. I'm not going to spoil that for you in case you want to watch that, so go watch that later if you want to see that one, but we're not going to spoil that here.
Someone should time this. Andy went to Aga Tower by coming from Link's house and just walking through Hyrule Castle, but etium's going to mirror on the pyramid.
Yeah, I think going from Link's house is a little faster. If you didn't get the automatic teleport after Aga, I could see this being a little better, though. We are joined.
Oh, hey, Andy's here. Hi.
Hello.
Where'd you come from?
Sorry, I was helping Kelsey set up some stuff, so I was not here when it ended for me, I suppose. But hello.
Hi. So winning move, if you weren't aware, was putting off the sound until you had the small key.
Yep.
I mean, there were other things that ended up being a factor, but that was the big main decision that put etium behind and you ahead.
It's really like I did an AD keys race like less than a week ago, and the play was to go into Thieves Town without that small key, so it was like really destroying me on the inside.
Oh.
And then just Death Mountain being out of logic for so long was really weird. And then yeah, I don't know. The sea was just terrible.
Yeah. Thankfully, unlocking the flute put, the majority of the game out of logic. So etium was able to work out the game logic to know he had to go back there sooner rather than later. But it did end up being a pretty big time loss. The other big move you made was the bow. Because we thought maybe, like, if you felt far enough ahead or something, you would go to GT instead of going to Pyramid Fairy, and which would have been worse because you'd have to full clear swamp to get the other bow. Because etium had done the Pyramid Fairy play a lot earlier, so that was his main advantage at that point.
Yeah, I was really glad that like I left Ice Palace. I was like, I don't have the big key. I don't want to isolate that, and the big key would have been like the literally next chest I opened, which was really funny. But I'm glad that didn't really hurt me too much.
Yeah, it was just fairly minor, just a double dip of ice.
Yeah,
like the first 2 rooms.
Yeah, that's why I left, because Hammer was so early. Hammer opened up enough that I could just I'd rather just leave and do other stuff than isolate Ice Palace big chest. But yeah, this seed could have been so much worse. There was so much stuff we had left after GT.
Specifically, there was one thing that etium did that was until the very end of the seed when you found the Castle Tower small key. There was still a potential for etium to take it away from you, even though he ended up being like 8 minutes behind. Etium did Hera Basement. You did not. It was the Swamp Palace big chest or big key.
Oh god.
So if the Castle Tower key had just been in that chest, it would have been a much later go mode for you than it was.
Yes. Yeah, the seed, the AT small key could have absolutely turned this race into who picks the right thing first.
Yeah.
With Mirror in GT, I don't know, Hera Access was just too quick otherwise with there were only 3 small keys left. And I knew where 2 of them were. Yeah. Assuming I had actually tracked all of my small keys correctly.
And of course the first one
maybe not have happened. And yeah, so the first one is Gaines Tower. cool, logical double dip of GT, by the way. And then I was actually hoping for Aga Tower small key to be the one on Hylia because I didn't want literally everything to be open. I'd rather just like most of the stuff be open. And then it was Swamp, and I'm like, oh god, this could be so bad. And then small key pops out of the first chest, and I already know exactly what it is because there's no other small keys left. Oh man.
Yeah, at least on Etium's side, this is basically he got every single small key in the game. Obviously, you every single key in the game, I should say, not just smalls, but Etium also has that one extra big. So, but yeah, there was definitely some opportunity for this seed to go sideways had the Castle Tower small key not been in Swamp. We didn't even want to think of some of the options there. Late mirror can be really bad. Late boots also, though. I mean, that does lock 2 spots, plus it just makes this seed so much slower.
Yeah. At least boots were like first chest in GT, so we got that. But yeah, late mirror is super scary because like Mimic Cave could have been it, which would have been like probably the last location that we would have checked. And there was just so much open. There's 4 mirror spots, the 2 boot spots, pedestal, all of Swamp Palace. It could have been gross.
So this will put you up in the first place. Pending the other race, this might be a tie for first or sole first. Pretty good position going into the last week, though. You've basically got a play-in series against Komodo Hypers coming up. How you guys feeling about that?
We're feeling pretty good. We got to do some practice seeds, but Wadey and I are both fairly good execution-wise. Not that the other team is not. But I think we need to take one race to guarantee playoffs, which I think we could do. We're against Furium, Chex, and Kyong, which are they're all really good. So it'll be some good races for sure.
Well, we do have
Etium has taken out Ganon. Oh, you go ahead.
Official time 2 hours 11 minutes and 5 seconds, and Etium's already joining us here.
Hi, Etium.
Yeah, that seed was not super fun.
So I'm sure you realize what the big time loss was for you this seed.
Was it Thieves' Big Chest?
Yeah, the Thieves' Big Chest, Desert Palace small key, into Flute.
Okay.
Andy put it off until he had the small key, so he ended up getting the back in one dip where you put it off for a long time and then eventually got back there.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a tough call, but
yeah, I mean, it can goes
yeah,
one way or
especially
the
with
other.
like I can see skipping it, especially with only one chest back there is even in logic without the small key. So I understand the skip. It makes a lot of sense, but I just decided to go for it, and it just burned me.
Yeah, at the point that I was either like go into Thieves Town with both keys and have 3 checks, or like do Ice Palace with 1 small key and no big key or hammer, which is I think is also 4 checks. So
you even did
right? It was essentially just like a coin flip. Yeah, I don't know. This whole seed was just like a bunch of bad decisions in the middle.
Yeah, there was just nothing. At least I avoided the Turtle Rock double dip. That could have happened. Actually, no, it couldn't have. Ice Rod was in Turtle Rock. Never mind.
Yeah, the 4 Turtle Rock small keys without Ice Rod too, or Mirror, and I was just like, man, this is gonna suck if this doesn't pay off. And it's like literally the second to last chest that has Ice Rod. I was like, man, this is a huge time loss if this has absolutely nothing in it.
Yeah, I had a period where I had to because I sequence broke the mountain and got the lamp, so I had to keep that logic in my head because it took me a long time to find a flute.
Yep. Yeah, I did the same thing in the last location, Pearl and Aga Tower.
Yeah, I think I think I might have had like I think I had Zora left. I did Castle Tower before Zora, but that was it.
Okay.
There was the early game was really up and down because Andy made like this really we don't normally see people go to Zora without the ability to do the flipper checks around it, but Andy like hula hand on his way to South Shore and then fake flipper to Hobo and then just walked he swam actually all the way to Zora.
Yeah.
And you got like the hook shot, and it's like, oh my god, he got the hook shot, even though like this is a place that etium's almost certainly not going anytime soon. And you follow that hook shot to the mountain, and you got nothing.
Just the lamp. Just the lamp. And I was like, all right, this is cool. So getting that hook shot, I was like, okay, obviously the game doesn't want me to go to the mountain, but it's probably just going to be like the lamp in Sahasrahla or the lamp in the front of Eastern. And you're just going to go to Death Mountain, get your Moon Pearl. So we're just going to skip that. We'll do it later. And then the only thing we got up there was the lamp, and I'm like,
oh, it must be the flute then, right? Surely it's just the flute.
But then, like, thinking about it, flute does, like, literally nothing. If just lamp is on Death Mountain, the flute does absolutely nothing. And so it was just like, all right, well, what's over here? And then it was just nothing. And so it was like, okay, Pearl is just in this nice one-check Aga Tower.
Yeah, I got the hook shot after getting the flippers, which I don't think hurt me too much.
I had to go back to Waterfall Ferry anyways at some point. So
yeah, boots and boots and mirror in GT makes routing just so difficult.
The two worst small keys in the game.
So you're talking about where this puts Pug Trio, that they're in the tie for first. Titans Miss will fall, or not really fall, but they'll be in a tie for second or third pending the other race, which we're not going to spoil. But interestingly enough, I think Titans Miss, you now kind of become fans of Pug Trio for next week because them winning helps you get into the playoffs.
Are they playing Komodo Hypers?
Yeah, we have Komodo Hypers.
All right, well, go Pug Trio. Yeah, we knew like coming into this season we had a really, really tough division, so we weren't necessarily even expecting to make playoffs. So the fact that we got a pretty decent chance of it is really nice. So it's all up to Nap and Dante now because I'm not playing next week.
Yeah, this 2-0 was really big for us also after we went 0-2 last week to Air 216.
Yeah,
that put us in a really bad spot considering we had to play like 3 of the top 4 teams in our last 3 weeks.
Yeah, we lost the first match of the Pilot Keys week, and then the second one we won by like 9 seconds or something. So that really saved us.
Yeah, I mean, we need to win one match against Komodo Hypers to guarantee getting into the playoffs, so we're still not even like in a good spot.
Yeah.
This is gonna be an interesting last week for our division, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm personally on Team OP Got Good because I really don't want them to go 0-14.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm praying for wall kicks and the homies to take one.
Just for context, OP Got Good plays We Are the Imposters next week, which is actually currently the bottom 2 teams in your division. But I mean, they're definitely playing for some pride. Obviously, as you said, OP Got Good wants that win just so they have at least one win this season. That'd be a good victory, just to end on a high note at least. Yeah, I think we can probably start wrapping up here. Any final thoughts?
Just GG's, Andy, and
GG's.
thanks for the comms, JP and Koi, and Tracker Mindful Beast, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, thanks to our tracker Mindful Beast, who's been behind the scenes this whole time, keeping track of everything. Key Sandy weeks are very tough to track because of how much is going on.
Eddie, you want to do some All Dungeons keys tonight?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of wrapping up here. We have one more match currently going on SpeedGaming 5. Never Do Chickens playing the spoilers. Wolfie versus Elgadasan. One more race tonight as well at 7:10 Eastern. Goomba versus Trinex on SpeedGaming 3. And we have 2 races tomorrow to finish off week 6. So, but yeah, I think we can wrap up here.
Yeah, GG's both our runners. Thank you guys so much for putting on such a great show for us. Brewers fan, JP, thanks so much for coming with me as well.
Yeah, thanks for joining me in comms as well.
On the tracking. Great job. You the best.
Yep, but yeah, wrap up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go check out the other races we got going on. I'll let Koi take us out.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.